Hey there, welcome back guys. So, if you're a beginner and you are just like me when I started out, you're probably getting hella frustrated with not leveling out your ollie or not getting them at all. But fear not, because today we are going to talk about 5 tricks to do without an ollie, and we are going to go into depth with it. So I'll tell you how to do each one of those. What I always recommend everyone to start mastering first, and also one of my all-time favorite tricks, it's gonna be a manual. Alright, so let me just show you that right away. So for foot position on this first one, what you will wanna do is place your front foot somewhere behind the boards, or you can actually put it on the boards, but that will mean that you are going to have to put stronger leverage onto your tail in order to keep your wheels in the air. What I like to do is that I just keep them below the boards a bit, and for your back foot you're going to want to step into the concave, not entirely onto the tail, but these two, they vary. So the further back your front foot is, the easier it's going to be to lift the nose, but harder to hold. At least you will have a slightly narrower chance to hold it. And on your back foot, the thing is like about the same. The further on the tail your back foot is, the easier it's going to be to lift the nose, but the closer to your front back truck your foot is, the easier it is going to be to hold, because your weight is centering right above your back truck. This is what we're going to be aiming for. And then what you want to do is that you're going to place some weight on your back foot and sort of de-weight your front foot. At first it's totally alright if you just do little manual taps like this, but the more you practice and the more comfortable you are with the stance that you are taking on, the longer you are going to hold, and that is also going to be your goal. Now this is one of the common mistakes. As you could see, my shoulders, they leaned over my hip. Now it is a very difficult situation to come back from if that happens to you. So I advise you to try and avoid leaning over your hip at all costs. Alright, let's see a proper one. And there really isn't much more to the manual itself. I love this trick because it trains the core skill of balance and also gives you a better feel for your board. Now the key to this one is practice, practice, practice. Just as easily you can learn them, you can lose them just as easily. Now this trick is one of those rare exceptions where it feels a lot easier to do them while moving, so I'd like to encourage you to practice them while rolling as soon as you're confident in that you can hold them. Alright, let's see a rolling one. Of course, you are going to scrape your tail a lot with this one, so either use a guard or a board that you don't mind if it gets razor tail, because that can really kill your pup. So I've just told you that there isn't really much to it, but I figured that I'm dumb as shit, because there is 2 other things to it. First of all, when you're holding your manuals, you will want to square up your shoulders with your feet and your board. And that way, holding it like this, you can help your balance with your upper body. But the second thing that I wanted to mention is, do not rely on balancing with your upper body too much, because the real secret to holding a nice long manual, it's in your back foot. Because what we're aiming for is not something that you throw it up and then try to hold it and lean back and forth. But what you want to focus on is just simply having the strength in your back foot to lift it, even if you're not properly deveighting your front foot. What I mean by that is that you have to feel just how much pressure to apply with your back foot in order to not tilt back, and also not have to do over exaggerated upper body movements whilst you're holding your manual. See? Much more stable, as if I was like, first mistake as we discussed before, or like this. So just get a feel for it and try to find that sweet spot of yours, also with the foot placement, also with the pressure that you're applying to your board. You don't have to throw the nose into the air. You just gotta lift it in place. Actually, I will make a video for a drill that can help you achieve just that. Alright, let's move on to the next trick. So, our next trick is going to be called a caveman. This is also a super beginner friendly trick, and at first you don't even have to start on your board. What I want you to do is hold your nose with your thumb in the middle and your 4 other digits on the bottom side of your nose. That will help you move it with ease. Now, it's really a very intuitive trick. There's not really a way to explain it. You just sort of jump up, and using your tail, you place your board underneath you, just like that. Yep, that was actually a fucked up one. So as you could see, it is key to land with your knees bent. Otherwise, just like how I did, you can easily slip out if you land with stiff legs. And this is also one of those tricks that kind of feels scary, but there is not many ways that it can go wrong. So I'd like you to try it, no matter how much it can get into your head. Alright, on to the next one. Okay, so actually I just realized there is a lot of things that can go wrong with practicing cavemans for the first time. Make sure there's no cars or glass or anything around you, because in the beginning it's very easy to slip out, especially if you land with stiff legs, just how we talked about. Alright, so the next one's called a tic-tac, and it's going to be one of our most important fundamental building blocks, because you can use this one to correct, to micro-adjust tiny mistakes that you might have made with landing or just do them for fun, and also that can get you rolling without ever pushing with your back foot. So for this one, what you want to do is that you just take on your standard riding stance, how you would ride normally on your board, and place your back foot in the concave of the tail. Now once you did that, what you're going to want to do is synchronize your shoulders and your feet to move simultaneously, and just do a little tap left, little tap right, little tap left, little tap right. And that is going to get you rolling. It really only takes a short time to get used to just how much you have to turn. And with time you can really speed up the number of turns that you're making, and that is going to propel you forward. Now for this one, the most important thing is really to keep your shoulders and your board in synchron. Just like this. This is also one of the most self-intuitive tricks in skateboarding, but you're going to use it all the time. Okay, so the next one is what's called a casper shuv-it. Now we are going to stay stationary for this one because I wanted to save the one trick in this video that will get you rolling and doing tricks. Two, does not really seem like a beginner trick, but it does feel like one, I promise. Alright, but back to casper shuv-it. So first, you'll want your board laying out flat, you standing up on it in riding position. But the trick to this is that you're going to put your back foot a bit forward on the toe side, which means your toes are going to be hanging off, and to put your front foot to the heel side. Now, in order to flip the board onto its back, you want to simultaneously press down on your front foot and sort of pull it back with your back foot. Now, once you've done that, you are going to find your front foot somewhere below the truck on the grip tape side and your back foot on top of it. Now what you're going to do is that you'll jump with this foot, and whilst you're jumping, do just kind of a little scoop with your back foot like this. But you're going to do them all at once. Okay, let's see one from this view first. Sorry for the shaking. And that will just put you back. Now it feels sort of like a circus trick, but it is a very easy one to do. Yeah, the one backside to it is that it will really fucking eat your shoes, man. Because the grip tape side's right over your front foot. And for our last trick of the day, we are going to try, drum roll, front side 180 boneless. Now, shout out to Shimon for recommending this one to me a couple of days ago, and I'll explain why not a plain boneless, but rather a front side 181. In my experience, I have found it way easier to land a frontside 180 boneless than it is to keep the board straight with doing a regular boneless. So for this one, what you want to do, first of all, it's the easiest to practice with rolling. You do not have to go really fast, you just have to be moving, have a little bit of a momentum. Now this one's also going to eat your tails, so you know the thing from before with either a guard or a board that you don't care about. Alright, but let's get into it. So first, you'll want to set your foot placement up in a very similar way to a standard riding position, but what you want to do is back foot in the concave, of course, and your front foot you want to kind of slide down towards the heel side, just like how you did with the casper shuv-it. And the trick to this one is building up pressure between these 2 points, reaching down with your left hand if you're goofy and with your right hand if you're regular. And as soon as you grabbed your board, you're going to let your front foot slip off, and the tension will send the board towards you. So once you practiced enough to create tension on the board, grab it, slide your foot off, and you grabbed your board. What I want you to do next is send the tail with your back foot a bit forward. And this is exactly why we're doing 180s today and not the regular boneless, because you're going to notice that as you step off, you sort of automatically turn front side. Now, the next step is just simply sending the tail forward, and you can hear a distinctive scraping noise. That is going to be an indicator of a steezy boneless 180. And once you slipped off, grabbed it, you're going to jump off your right foot and put it right below you. Now I got my fucking phone in my hand, so this probably looks awful. But this is also one of those tricks that is a lot easier than it looks. Alright, let's just see a plain one in action. So build tension, reach for your board, slide your front foot off, grab the board, jump, place it beneath you, and roll away. Now, once you feel that you're starting to turn front side, what you want to do is just simply follow the rotation. Do not try and counter measure it, but rather just keep spinning with it, man. Alright, let's see it. Alright, so this has been 5 easy tricks to do without an ollie. If you want to see more content like this, like, share, subscribe, hit that note button. And if you want help with your individual tricks, do post the links to your attempts and I will try to tend to them. Alright.